Okay, this is 2017 question 1. Again, we're asked to draw the elevation from direction A and a plan projected from the elevation. So this time we're taking a plan rather than an end view. The maximum width of our piece, 195. This is for the front elevation. Our maximum height, we add 35, 35 and 30 together, giving us a grand total of 100. And we'll start off with that. So we know we need to come down at least 100 from the top of the page for our elevation. So we'll start in the middle of the page, as there's no need for an end view. And we're simply going to measure a box 100 high by 195 long. Again, these are all construction lines. And we're now going to mark off the various heights that we discussed previously, 35, 35 and 30, and the ones along the bottom. So we start off from the bottom left, 30, 35, 25, 35, and that should leave us with 70. Our heights are 35, 35 and 30. And I find the construction lines, turning this into a grid, is easier for students to get their head around. But it's important to keep these light. So now we can start finding points. So the first point there that I think we should look at is this line along here. This base is hardened in. So we can harden in a small bit of detail there. The front of it and the back of it. And there's also a line on the front of it where it starts to go into a point at the nose of the boat. Our next step, we look at the cab. So the cab comes in 70. First point is in 65 from the back, and it goes up from that point over 25 and up to the very top then. So there is the back and front, or the back of our cab. It measures forward from that point 35 mil, and we bring that back down to the base, and it should line up with the line below. There's a little windscreen up here on the top of the boat. Add that in. And finally, we have a bit of hidden detail to the back of the boat, and that comes down a depth of 15 mil from the top of the boat. It's a little section taken out of the back of the boat where it's lower than the surface of the rest of the boat, and that comes in a distance of 30. So we're going to just put in our hidden detail there, which is represented as a broken line, and that's our hidden detail. We're now going to start into our plan. We bring all our points down. Again, construction lines, bring all of them down. Leave a space of roughly 20 mil between your drawings. And we know that the length of this boat is same as above, 195, and the width of it is 90, so we can measure down 90 from that point. Now, given the boat is 90, the centre point of the boat would have to be 45. And we know that it joins from this point back to this point. The outline of the boat can be hardened in. Now at the top of the boat we have a radius to create this fillet, and we're going to set that's a radius 35, which can find in our drawing. Set the compass to 35. We draw that in, and that comes back to that point. And we also have a line across here. Now that part of the boat that was indented here, we now need to mark that. That's a distance of 10 mil from each side of the boat. And that completes the plan of the boat. Now the next thing we have to do, part C, is to insert any 4 dimensions. I'm going to insert 195, the 90, and the height of it, which is 100 for the first tree. Again, to do that we may even just break this down a little bit smaller and take, first thing I would do is measure down 12 mil, leave a gap at 2 and draw a line in 10. Again, in this case, keep the distance the same. Come a bit from the edge, roughly 2 or 3 mil. Insert your arrowheads, so narrow at the beginning, wider out about 8 mil. And the length of that is 195 millimeters. Now, your construction lines must be lighter. For the purpose of the camera, they're a little bit darker than they should be, just so you can see them. But it's important to keep all construction lines light. Again, if you measure out a distance of roughly 2 mil, and it should be then 10 mil long. Your arrowhead, and the width of that is 90 millimeters. So roughly 2 millimeters between the drawn, 10 millimeters of sugar, 10 millimeters up. and we've inserted 4 dimensions. And that is the drawing complete.